Harry Potter movies cannot cover everything that the books do. That's why they keep cutting off many characters completely. I've made this video before about characters that weren't in the films. I only discussed 4: Charlie Weasley, Regulus Black, Peeves, and Winky. So in today's video, we'll be discussing other characters that didn't make it to the movies, and some who absolutely deserve to. Again, this is obviously not a complete list, so let's get into it. Frank and Alice Longbottom. They were the parents of Neville Longbottom. We've seen them only once in the Order of Phoenix, when Sirius gave Harry an old photograph containing the original members of the Order of Phoenix. What actually happened is after Voldemort was defeated by Harry, Alice and Frank were attacked by Death Eaters, Bellatrix, Lord-Delphus, and Rabiston Lestrange, and Bartemius Crouch Jr. They were captured and tortured with the Cruciatus Curse. Alice and Frank were deemed insane and lost their capability to function in society. Thus they were placed in San Marcos Hospital for magical maladies and injuries, where they would reside for the rest of their lives, not even being able to recognize their son. The first time we learned about the Longbottoms in the book was when Dumbledore explained to Harry how they tragically were attacked. Then there was the moment when Harry, Hermione, and Ron met up with Neville in St. Marcos Hospital, where they saw his parents for the first time. Alice and Frank did make the right choice. They stepped up and picked the most awful prize for their bravery.
We're gonna make them proud, Neville. That's a promise.
Walburga Black. In the movie, we get to see Sirius' family through the Black family tree, but in the book, Walburga Black had an appearance. She was Sirius Black's mother and a member of the pureblood House of Black. Walburga always considered Sirius to be a disappointment to her, because he didn't agree with the ideology of blood purity. Thus, Walburga removed him from the Black family tree, leading Sirius to leave the house at the age of 16. After Walburga's death, her portrait remained magically fixed to the wall in the hallway of her family home, using a permanent stick and charm. The picture showed an insane old woman screaming insults at anyone who disturbed the portrait, particularly the purebloods. This happened several times when the Order of Phoenix used Greymoor Place as their headquarters after her death, and they tried unsuccessfully to remove the portrait for quite some time. After the death of her family, Walburga was alone at the house except for the family house elf creature. Lodo Bagman. Bagman made his first and last appearance during the Goblet of Fire. He was a beater for the English national Quidditch team, and after that he started his career at the Ministry of Magic as head of the Department of Magical Games and Sports. Lodo took part in organizing the 1994 Quidditch World Cup. Bagman took bets before the cup started with Fred and George for the final result. The twins therefore stuck to him for the entire school year, trying to get their money. He even came to owe some money to people, but he always used his tricks to get away with it. Bagman also had borrowed a large amount of gold from goblins, but never paid him back, because he lost most of his money gambling. Lodo Bagman's last chance was to bet that Harry would win the Triwizard Tournament. He tried to help Harry during his test to make sure he wins, but in the end, Harry didn't win, but was tied up with Cedric, which led Lodo to go on the run shortly after the third test. Aelin Prince and Tobias Snape. We never got to see Snape's parents in the movies. Aelin Prince was a witch and Tobias Snape was a muggle, which makes Severus a half-blood wizard. Later we know that Snape gave himself a new name, the Half-Blood Prince. That prince was the name of Severus' mother, and half-blood was his blood status. Aelin and Tobias and their son lived in a house in Cockworth on a street called Spinner's End. It was near a nasty smelling river. Tobias and Prince neglected their son and often fought with one another. Also, Severus was depicted as being unwashed and wearing ill-fitting clothes, as the family was poor, which led Severus to be friendless and uncared for. Snape's response to Lily when she asked if his father liked magic was, he doesn't like anything much. Harry discovered much about Snape's childhood in the Deathly Hallows book, where he learned that Snape had a miserable childhood with his 2 depressing parents. Andromeda and Ted Tonks. Andromeda was the mother of Nephedora Tonks, and younger sister of Bellatrix and Narcissa Black. After finishing Hogwarts, Andromeda married a muggle-born wizard, Ted Tonks, and was immediately disowned and burned off the family tree. Narcissa and Bellatrix cut off contact with Andromeda, considering her a blood traitor for her marriage. Although Andromeda and Ted didn't appear to be official members of the Order of Phoenix, they helped the Order on multiple occasions. When the Ministry fell under Voldemort's control, Andromeda and Ted were interrogated and tortured by Death Eaters for information about Harry and the Order. The couple had a grandson when Nefedora gave birth to Tidi Lupin. Her husband Tittonks was forced to go on the run as the ministry was persecuting Muggleborns, leading him eventually to be murdered by Snatchers. Andromeda's daughter was killed in the Battle of Hogwarts by her sister Bellatrix, and so was the fate of her husband Lupin, leading her grandson Tidi Lupin to be raised by her. The Gaunt family, aka Voldemort's family. The movies shows us almost nothing about Voldemort's family except some small mentions. The books, however, did a better job than the movies. The Gaunt family story is very huge, but I'm gonna make it short. Marvolo Gaunt was Voldemort's grandfather and descendant of Salazar Slytherin himself. Marvolo was bravely imprisoned in Azkaban for assaulting ministry personnel. He died soon after he was released from the prison. Morfin Gaunt, on the other hand, was Voldemort's uncle. Morfin was also sent to Azkaban with his dad. After returning home, he found his father dead. He then inherited the family shack and also the Gaunt's ring, which was an heirloom of Salazar Slytherin. However, Morfin was sent to Azkaban for the second time, after his nephew Voldemort came to learn about his family and framed him for the murder of the Riddles. Morfin died in Azkaban, and Voldemort took the Gaunt ring back with him, believing it's now his own. The last member is Merope Gaunt, Voldemort's mother. After her cruel father and brother was sent to prison, Merope bewitched a Muggle boy using a love potion, leading the two to get married eventually. After some time, Merope came to believe that Tom is really falling in love with her. She stopped giving him the love potion, which led him to awake into a nightmare and flee back to his family home. Merope fell into depression and sold one of the most priceless family heirlooms, Slytherin's locket, in order to gain some gold. Merope was already pregnant with a child during that time and gave birth to a boy after she died, a boy that was going to be known as Lord Voldemort. Marietta Edgecombe. She was a Ravenclaw and close friend to Cho Chang. Marietta was the one who betrayed Dumbledore's army to the Ministry. She went to Umbridge's office and gave her a hint about the room of requirements, but Hermione put a jinx on Dumbledore's army members, making anyone who betrayed the organization break out in pimples that spelled the word "snake" across their face. That's what happened to Marietta. Cho Chang was upset for her friend and defended her to Harry, saying that she's a lovely person and that she made just a mistake. Harry, however, considered Marietta a traitor and her informing the ruining of Dumbledore's army. After this row, their relationship fell apart. Marietta did all of this because she never enjoyed Dumbledore's army lessons, and she was persuaded by Cho to attend the first meeting because she saw both Harry and Dumbledore liars. That was completely different from the movie, as Marietta didn't exist there at all. Instead, they showed Cho Chang herself with Umbridge as if she's the one who betrayed her friends, which was not the same in the book. That was all for today's video. Please, if you enjoyed, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, and feel free to comment down below your thoughts and ideas. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.